Miranda, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little bit more of a glittery, sparkly New Year's Eve kind of holiday look. I recently picked up some items from the MAC Mariah Carey collection, and this is what the lipstick tube looks like. It's just so perfect and glittery that I had to do kind of an all-out, crazy, fantastic diva Mariah Carey look. So if you want to see how I did this glittery, sparkly look, just keep watching.
Okay, let's get started. As always, first things first, priming the eyes with MAC Painterly PaintPot. Again, you can prime your eyes with anything. Concealer easily works too. I prefer a paint pot, just getting it all over your eyes, into the crease, and smoothly around your lash line. Then we're going to go in with the Porefession. Again, I'm always just putting this one on my chin and my nose area. I put this on the areas of my face that get the most oily so that my foundation won't move at all. If you get oily all over your face, you could put this all over your face, and if you don't find that you're oily or that you have pores showing, you can definitely skip this step and just go with a different primer altogether. Next, I'm going to go in with the Mercier Foundation Primer in Radiance. I'm just going to take this on the rest of my face, everywhere that I didn't use the Porefession, and down onto my chin area. With a really sparkly kind of party eye like this, I want to make sure that I get my face looking really shiny and, nope, not shiny, but really dewy, so that it balances out the crazy sparkly eye and the rest of my face doesn't look super matte, because that's just too big of a contrast for me. And then I'm going to go in my under eye area with the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. I really like to make sure that I'm hydrating and priming my under eye also when I'm doing a crazy eye look, so that my under eye concealer will go on nice and smooth with the eyes being the focus. I want to make sure that underneath my eyes looks really good and I don't have any dark circles. Then we'll start with the eyes. I'm going to use Soft Brown by MAC. This is just a really good neutral transition shade, so I'm just going to take it on a MAC 224 and just blend it out all over my eye, being super sloppy, not worrying about where it's going because it's going to all get covered up, but it helps make all the other shades blend really well. Starting in the outer corner with little circles, and then as there's less product on my brush, dragging it in and through my crease, and just repeating that until it's nice and blended. Then I'm going in with Texture by MAC. This is a very similar shade. I'm also putting it on a 224 brush. This shade looks like it has a lot of sparkle in it, but it doesn't show up that way on your eye. So this is a really good crease color, again on the 224. Just putting the little circles on the outer corner and then blending it out through the crease. Sorry, this one's a little bit blurry, my camera doesn't love it when I use my brush like that. This one I'm being a little bit more precise with, but I'm still going to go in with several other colors, so it's not that big of a deal, bringing it up and slightly above my crease. Then I'm going to go in with Saddle by MAC, and I'm going to take that on a 217 brush. Saddle is a slightly darker color than Texture, so this one I'm going to keep tight into the corner and then just a little bit lower into my crease, but not going anywhere above, and then just blending it out again with that same 224 brush with no additional product, just to make sure that everything's really blown out. Then I'm going to go in with Brown Script by MAC. This one's quite a bit darker, so I'm just going to actually dab it on the corner of my eye first to make sure that the majority of the product is staying on the outside corner. Then just kind of blending that around in little circles on the outside corner. Then when I have a lot less product on the brush, I will bring it up, but because it is darker, I don't want it to go too high up. Then I'm going to go in with Woodwinked by MAC. This one is nice and shimmery. I'm going to take it on a 242 brush and just spread it all over my eyelid. I am going to be covering this up with glitter, but I just want to have a really good base so that any parts that doesn't have glitter on it is still looking nice and shimmery underneath. Then I'm going to go in again with a little bit more texture and just blend everything out to make sure that there's no lines where the Woodwinked went on. Now we're going to go in with Oprah glitter from Lit Cosmetics and the Lit Cosmetics glitter base. The best tip for this I got from the girls at Worldtown Cosmetics is just to tip this over onto your hand, because that keeps everything super sanitary. Dip your brush in the glue, get it nice and covered in glue, and then just dip that brush right into the glitter. That'll keep everything super sanitary, and it's easier than putting the glue straight onto your eye. As you can see, I'm just patting as opposed to rubbing, and I am taking this glitter and completely covering everything where I laid down the Woodwinked before. So if you want to skip that step, you totally don't have to use the Woodwinked. I like to have a super shiny base underneath my glitter so that if I miss any spots or if the glitter doesn't completely cover it, it's still nice and shiny. But it is an extra step, so if you don't feel like doing that or you don't have a shiny eyeshadow, just skip that step and go straight to the glitter. And I'm using a 242 brush to apply this one. Then I'm just going to take my 224 brush with a little bit of saddle and blend everything together to make sure that there's not any super harsh lines of glitter anywhere. And just moving it back and forth again in windshield wiper motions, but trying not to mess up the glitter that I just put on. Let it dry a little bit first. Then I'm going to go in again with that darker saddle color and just doing the same thing, blending it out and making it a bit darker. Now for eyeliner, we're going to use Blacktrack Fluidline by MAC on a skinny little pencil eyeliner brush. I never know the name of this brush, but I will have it listed down below. I always just do a thin line. Then I'm going to curl my lashes. I actually got a question about this, why you curl your lashes before you put mascara on. I do it because when you have mascara on, your lashes are a little bit firmer, and so they actually can crack when you curl them. So if you curl them first, it's just a little bit safer and protects your lashes. I'm using the Maybelline Lash Stiletto and Colossal Lash, just layering them up, and then I'm going to go in with the Velour Whispie Sweet Nothing lashes. These are my favorite dramatic lashes. Look at the difference when you have one on and one off. Sorry, I will get better at doing them on camera so I can show everybody how I do it. Then I'm going to go in with the Prolongwear foundation from MAC. I'm using the color NW13. Just going to squirt a couple squirts onto my hand and then spread it out all over my face. I like to do the dots on my face, so I just get a nice sheer layer first. Then I go back in and add more if I need any extra coverage. And I'm going to blend this out using my Sigma F80 flat top kabuki brush. This brush really is the best for getting just a super airbrushed look and making sure that you don't have a super cakey look. It does spread out the product really nicely. I just rub it around in little circles, and then when I need extra coverage anywhere, I just use light patting motions. I find that the circles and blending it out makes it the most airbrushed that I can get, and I make sure to get it right all over my chin, down through my neck, and on up into my forehead and hairline so that I don't have any harsh lines of foundation. And then I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm using the Prolongwear Concealer in the color NW15, just spreading it out over my under eye area. Oops, got it on my nose. That's okay. Can't hurt to have a little bit of extra coverage on my nose, making extra certain to blend it into the corner of my eyes, because in that area, especially with this crazy eye look, I don't want to have a blue area, which I can get with how pale I am. So just, yeah, blending everything out, patting it or pouncing it with this little beauty blender or beauty bobber if you've watched my last video with Jennifer. Then I'm going to go in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Moonstone, and I'm just tapping that on the tops of my cheekbones, and I'm going to go in and blend it out with my beauty blender. Just again patting rather than rubbing so that it gets nice and blended and airbrushed. If you're rubbing, you're just kind of spreading it around rather than actually blending it in. Then I'm going to use the MAC Translucent Powder, and again I'm just tapping that underneath my under eye with a Sigma tapered blending brush. I'll have the number listed down below. And similar to how I put on my concealer or highlight, I just like to tap this first and then kind of rub it to make sure that it's blended in. And I'm going to go in with the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in the color Light. Using my MAC 187 blending brush, I'm just taking this and kind of putting a light layer all over my face. I don't need a lot of powder, especially in the winter when my skin is quite a bit drier, but I do like to set my foundation because I think it makes it last a lot longer. And this powder is a little bit more hydrating, so it's better if you do have dry skin but like to set your powder. Then I'm using the MAC Sculpt powder. This powder was limited edition in this packaging, but you can get it. I think you have to get it online though, but it's a great powder if you want a more intense contour. Then I'm using my NARS Ita brush, and I am going for a little bit more of a structured contour today. So that's why I'm using a little bit more time blending out with just this Ita brush, because I was planning to make it really strong and structured, but then it was still just a little bit too much for me. So I pulled out my trusty 134 fluffy blending brush and then just gave it a little bit of a once over with no additional product, just to make sure that there wasn't too harsh of a line. And then I used that big fluffy brush to put some contour on the top of my forehead. I think it looks unbalanced if you just contour your cheekbones. And then again, just going back in and blending everything out, always blending to make sure there's no harsh lines anywhere. This is actually probably what takes me the longest, is blending everything out. That powder was a little bit darker than I remembered, so I was taking extra time today to make sure that it was still blended and I didn't have lines. Then the MAC Mariah blush. Oh man, this blush is so amazing, and look at that gold packaging. It's called Sweet Sweet Fantasy, and I do think this blush is still available, so go pick it up if you like Mariah Carey and blushes. I'm just taking a MAC 129 brush and putting it on just above where I had my contour, kind of right along the cheekbones. I don't like to bring it too far forward. I don't actually like my blush to sit on the apples of my cheeks. I start at the back and work forward. And then I'm going to go back in with that 134 brush and just kind of blend everything together. Then I'm going to go in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Moonstone on a MAC 119 fan brush. Just putting this on the tops of my cheekbones and blending it in. I am having it a bit more highlighted today because of the fact that my eyes are so glittery. Then I'm going to use MAC Texture on a 119 pencil brush and just blending this all out underneath my under eye to make sure that it's nice and super blown out. And then I'm going to go in with MAC Saddle on the same brush just to kind of match the upper eye and make it a little bit darker. Then I'm going to use the MAC Zoom Lash bottom, or just for my bottom mascara. That was a sample, but you actually can buy the full size of that. Then I'm going to take the MAC Fling brow pencil. First I'm going to brush them out with a spoolie so that they're all going in the same direction. And I'm just going to take that Fling brush on the, sorry it's getting a little bit blurry, I am working on my camera, but I'm just going to take that Fling brush and, that Fling pencil and pencil out the tail of my eyebrow so that it's nice and thin and has a pretty defined line. And then just blending everything out, nice short little strokes so that it looks like little hairs, and then brush it out. And now I'm going to go in with MAC Omega eyeshadow on an Anastasia, I think number 15 brush. Again, I'll have it listed down below. And I'm just going to do the front end. I put a nice precise line along the bottom of the brow, and then I turn my brush sideways with the extra product and just blend it out so that it's not super harsh at the front end of my brow. Then again, brushing it out with a spoolie so that there's no harsh lines and everything is nice and even. And then I'm going to go in with the MAC Clear Brow Gel and just go over it so that everything stays in place. And yay, our eyes are done. There we go. Now we're going to use the Mariah Carey lipstick. Seriously, look at that packaging. It is so amazing. The color that I'm using is called either Mcizzle or Mcizzle. I'm not really sure what it was called. It's just a nice, really nude shade. I didn't want anything too dramatic on the lips because of how dramatic my eyes were. And then I'm just going to set everything with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Seriously, this thing is like glue. And we're done! So I hope you guys enjoyed the look, and I will see you in my next video.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this New Year's Eve glittery tutorial. I was definitely inspired by the over-the-top Mariah Carey collection. If you liked this tutorial, give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment down below, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye! Say bye, Tyrone. Bye. 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 Kisses. Now you have Mariah Carey lipstick. Thanks. Bye.